We're back. All right, what's up, guys? Hopefully you've been enjoying either the heat in your house or the heat in the gym. Either way, what we got today. So Wednesday, for the warm-up, for 5 minutes, you guys are going to do a 10-second piked handstand on the box. So feet up on the box, walk those hands back as close as you can, up on the tippy toes, hold it for 10 seconds, trying to create a nice straight line from the hip to the hand. You're then going to do 5 push-ups, so any kind. You can do modified up on a box, you can do RX, it's up to you guys. Just focus on that good full range of motion, starting to ease into the day a little bit. You are then going to do a 10-second elevated puppy dog pose. So I'm going to go up on my box again and just sink my head through, really try and press actively onto that box, head through, opening up that overhead position. And then you're going to do another 5 push-ups. You're going to run through that for 5 minutes. After that, we're going to hit the legs a little bit, so you guys are going to go wide stance. We're going to do 10 Cossack squats, 5 per side. So heel down on the ground the whole time, sit down below parallel, back up to the middle, same thing on the other side. Only go as low as you can with that heel staying flat. We want to try and keep those squat mechanics sound. And then after that, you're going to do 10 air squats. So just good old, perfect, knees out, chest up, full range air squats. 2 rounds. After that, we have a little bit of skill strength for our handstand. So you're going to do 3 sets of a 10-second handstand hold. So you have a couple options. You've got piked on the box, just like we did during the warm-up. You've got a wall walk. You've got a kick up to the wall, and you've got freestanding. No matter what you're doing, you want to try and create this position. So I want to make sure that my ribs are down. I'm stacked from my hand all the way down to my heel, and I'm pulling my ribs down so hard that I'm actually starting to tuck away this curve of my low back a little bit. So I want to avoid this big arch in my midline no matter what I'm doing, especially. It's the most important thing you can try and think about for the handstand. Other than that, you want to have your hands at shoulder width. So this is about how far apart my hands should be when they're overhead for a handstand. We don't want to be way out here. We're not snatching. So once you're done there, our strength work for the day, 5 sets, 3 tempo strict handstand push-ups at a 3-1-X1, which means that you are going to do a 3-second negative on the way down. You're going to hold for 1 second in the bottom. You're going to explosively drive back to lockout, and then you're going to hold for 1 second at the top. So I'll do a piked variation of this so you guys can see what it would look like. Again, hands are going to be just outside of shoulder width now because I'm doing a pressing motion. From here, up on the tippy toes, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, press, hold for 1, and then I would go back into my next rep. And you can scale that up by adding a deficit if you're really strong overhead. Or again, you can scale that down to a pike, the way I did it, or you can also drop down to your knees on the box. It's another way to take a little bit of your body weight off, make that movement a little bit easier than if you were just doing it on your feet. So that's your skill strength for the day. Now, conditioning, every 4 minutes for 5 rounds. So you have intervals, 200-meter run, 15 front squats, 15 shoulder to overhead. If you are doing this workout in the gym, you are more than welcome to scale to a machine. So use one of the machines that you've probably missed very much over the last few months. So if you're going to do skier, you're going to go 250 meters for the guys, 200 meters for the ladies. If you are going to do a C2 bike, you're going to go 500 meters for the guys, 400 meters for the ladies. And then if you're going to do an assault bike, you are going to do 15 calories for the guys, 12 calories for the ladies. Now, you're also more than welcome to run at the gym, but keep in mind that if you're going to be running down at the gym, you have to go out the bay door, following the arrows on the ground, and then you have to come back in the front door. So just keep in mind that it might be a little tough flow-wise, which is why I'm recommending that you do this workout on a machine if you're going to be down at the gym. But once you're done that machine, you've got 15 front squats, 15 shoulder to overhead. As far as stimulus goes, I don't want you to be able to do the front squats unbroken, because I want them to be challenging enough weight-wise that you get to 9 or 10 reps and you're like, I should put this down now. So whatever weight that means for you, that's the weight that you should be selecting for this workout. So it's meant to be kind of like an intermediate weight. So it's not super light. It's something a little bit on the challenging side. So if we were programming a weight for this, we might say like 115.75 so that you get 9-10 reps in. You're like, I should take a break. Then you'll pick it up, you'll hit your last couple front squats, and then again for the shoulder overhead, I don't think you should be able to go unbroken. Maybe the first round, but other than that, you should be doing the same thing, finishing off your front squats, getting 8, 9, 10 reps in, taking a break, and then finishing off your last set. So that's kind of what you want to be doing to approach this workout as far as breaking it up, stimulus, stuff like that. Now, as far as range of motion goes, front squat, that means relaxed hands. So I want my elbows up as high as humanly possible, because the higher my elbows are, the more I'm going to let that bar rest across my shoulder here. So throughout the entire course of my front squat, my elbows should be pointing across the room at the other side. So if I'm pointing at the opposite wall all the way through my front squat, that means that I'm probably in a good position. And again, that's just an easy way to say keep your chest up. What usually happens is that if the elbows drop, that happens because the chest has dropped. So again, elbows are just an easy way to think about trying to pull your chest up. Another way to try and think about it is keep your shoulder blades tight. If I've got my upper back nice and tight and I've got my chest proud, that's going to help keep my chest up throughout that entire squat as well. Last piece, focus on for the front squat, knees out. Because for the front squat, you want to try and keep your hips a little bit further forward than for a normal squat, allowing you a little bit more vertical squat position when you're at the bottom of it. Now, for the shoulder overhead, you can do whatever you want here. So you can do push press or you can do push jerk. But either way, when you start that, you should definitely be warming up today with some dip drives. So find that comfortable front rack position. From there, I'm going to keep my heels on the ground and I'm just going to send my knees forward about 3 inches. Once I get here, I'm just going to squeeze my butt and stand. And you notice my heels come off the ground a little bit, but it's by virtue of squeezing my butt. So I'm not thinking about driving through my toes. That is not the way to go about this. Think about squeezing your butt, and that violent hip extension will probably allow your heels to come off the ground, but it's not a necessity. It's not something we're necessarily trying for. Now, once you get that big hip extension, so once I've got heels on the ground, dip, knees out, squeeze my butt at the top. From there, I've got 2 options. I can press overhead to lockout. That's option 1. That's going to be my push press. Option 2 is I can go from full extension down into a little quarter squat. So I can dip under that bar and then stand back up. I would say do whatever feels right at any given point during the workout. Which means that if you start push pressing and the first couple reps you're like, oh, this feels great. And then you get like 9 reps in and you're like, oh God, I need a little help. And you start dropping under the bar a little bit, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to do one or the other. You're more than welcome to kind of mix and match. So that's your workout today. Every 4 minutes for 5 rounds. Time-wise, your goal here should be done your machine or your run in less than a minute, and then done your front squats and your shoulder overhead by about the 2.5 to 3 minute mark. So again, we're looking at anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half of rest in the early parts of the workout, getting less and less as the workout goes on. Now, accessory work today, 3 sets. You've got 15 halos. Back up real quick. If you're doing this workout at home and you're doing kettlebell or dumbbell, you can break up the reps evenly on each side, as evenly as you can. So for the front squats, for those you can just do a goblet. So I can just take my kettlebell and my dumbbell, hold it right in the middle here. If you're doing the shoulder to overhead though, 15 reps total, break them up 8 and 7. And just try and change which arm you start on each round so that you end up relatively even from side to side. So again, if you're doing the workout at home, keep that in mind for the shoulder to overhead. So our accessory work, we got 15 halos. So for the halo, we're just looking to take a light object. A backpack might be great for this, or honestly, even like a textbook that's heavy. You're gonna hold the object and you're gonna try and orbit your face. So right around my nose, I'm just gonna try and orbit all the way around with the object, getting a nice big range of motion for my shoulders. And I'm gonna go 15 one direction and then 15 the other direction. So again, you don't need a whole lot of weight there, but we're just hitting the shoulders in a kind of weird fashion. So next we have overhead tricep extensions. So we're gonna sit down on any object, same thing, kettlebell, dumbbell, backpack, whatever you got's fine. You can also do these with a band if you're down at the gym. But what I'm gonna do is from overhead, lock out. I'm gonna bring my elbows back to 90 degrees. Upper part of my arm should stay basically perpendicular to the ground. And then I'm going to press back up to lock out for 15 reps. And then the last thing I've got is I have 30 Russian twists on each side, so 60 total. For that, you can do these sitting on the ground or you can do them on a box like this. But if you imagine that this is the floor, I want to have my heels off the ground the whole time, elevated slightly, and then I want to focus on rotating my chest so that my chest comes off towards the side of the room, and same thing on the other side. So I want, as much rotation from my midline as possible. 3 times through on that accessory work. Then all we got left, so we have the 90-second elevated puppy dog pose, and that's going to be the same thing we did during the warm-up. So hands up on an object, sinking the head through, relaxing. And then you've got a 1-minute pigeon pose per side. You spelled pigeon with a D. It's funny.
I was delirious.
We're going to do pigeon pose today, not pigeon pose today.
I was tired.
So what we're going to do, guys, a couple ways you can do this. You can lay down on the ground for it. No, we're going to stay pigeons today. You can do this up on a box as well. So again, if this box were higher, I'll actually use the plate seat here to do it better. So what I can do here is if I want to bring my foot up on an elevated surface right here, it's going to allow me to really change that stretch up so I can start to lean forward a little bit and I can elevate the height of the object to make it more or less challenging. So that's another way that you can kind of attack the pigeon pose. Either way, all we're looking to do is stretch out the glutes. So we're just looking to stretch out those butt cheeks because we got a lot of front squats in there. So that's your training for Wednesday. Enjoy. Again, keep hydrating. It's going to be really hot this week, all week. So please drink lots of fluids, lots of water. We will see you guys back tomorrow. So always tag us, Palace.Fitness, Forged by Zeus, and we'll see you guys back soon.